Dusk, you're at the tower for it's about 3 or 4 minutes before you hear the someone kind of scamper up the wall, open the door, and begin to make their way inside. Are you inside the tower or on top of it?
Uh, he mentioned inside the tower, right?
Yeah, it's a bit warmer inside.
Yeah, sure. She would be waiting inside.
Yeah, Shazza shows up still wearing that old kind of dark brown stained neck brace around his neck. He has a tray, bit of meat, apple, bread, his normal get up. Bit of he probably has a canteen of water on there. Smiles, saying that you're there. Just kind of comes, sets down everything, and just goes up against the wall and sits down, trying to relax his shoulders and everything a bit. Again, he's still a bit sore, so he's just trying to sit down as comfortable as he can. Pushes the tray towards you, and they really warmed it up in here, didn't they? You can still smell kind of the smoke that had filled this room hours before, and you can definitely feel like the heat is still here, like the stone is still warm within the tower from the flames.
Uh, Dusk just gives him like a barely noticeable nod.
Uh, Dusk, do you need anything? Did they burn all your stuff?
Mm, uh, Dusk will just shrug and shake her head. So probably nothing important.
Right. You're not gonna sleep down there again, are you?
Uh,
I mean, I guess it might be safe with those Portum guys leaving. I don't know.
she doesn't really respond to that.
Right. Well, just eat something. I'll shut up. It's just good to see you.
She gives him like a bittersweet smile.
Right. He just kind of sits and stares. Kind of looks down to the tray of food, goes back up to you, just waiting till you're done eating to talk.
Yeah, and Dusk starts eating.
Is there anything that Dusk doesn't tend to eat often, or you just again kind of scavenger eat whatever you can find?
Yeah, she's a bit of a scavenger. There's probably some food that doesn't taste as good, but I mean, after she came to the castle, she used to survive a lot outside,
Right.
and sometimes even probably had to eat raw meat.
Right. Yeah. No, this is definitely cooked. You just eat everything the whole time. Shazad's just kind of staring, smiling. It's been a little while since he was able to bring you food. Um, so you begin to eat the meat. It tastes a bit strange. As your stomach begins to grow, I need you to roll plus weird for me.
Uh, Weird.
Okay.
Hmm.
You begin to feel like you're having a vision, almost like you opened your mind, but you didn't. You see yourself standing at a crossroads. Down one path, you can see your darkest hopes and dreams coming true, but to follow that path will cause harm before it gets better. On the other way, your life stays the same, mundane, just as it is now, safe, but boring. If you decide to go down the path to solace your darkest hopes and dreams, you can tell me what your dream or hope is and take a +1 forward while working towards it. If you decide not to, then you will not be affected by this meat and will be immune to its effects in the future.
So one path leads to basically a
Whatever
calm life.
one path, leads to whatever Dusk's furthest hopes and dreams would be. They tend to say you want someone dead, they might get dead. You want power, you got power. You want a place of your own, you can get it if you take out the right people.
And the other path is just a calm, boring life.
It's as it is now, unchanged. No drive to really move forward or feel like there will be any advantage to pursuing. You have the option. You're basically nothing changes. You consume the meat and there are no effects and there will be no further effects of it.
I can also choose to stop eating the meat, right?
It's already in you.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it's
there was like the third option.
So your choices are is either take a little harm to have an advantage pursuing your darkest dreams and hopes, or ignore that path and stay the way your life is now, and you will no longer have effects of this meat or will ever have effects. Basically, you become immune to the meat.
This is a bit of a tough one, believe it or not.
Right. Like it's almost like you see there's a bunch of that rolled razor wire in front of the path, but past that you can see exactly what you want: a peaceful life with you and Shazza in your own place, safe from others. Maybe you see like a cottage up on a hilltop, a bit of farmland, maybe a couple cows and things outside. You see peace and not the annoyance of a large castle.
I suppose I'll take the path to the dreams.
Right? So you begin to climb through the razor wire. I'm gonna say, let me just pull this up here. Right, so for PCs, so you're going to be taking some psi harm here because it's coming in your head. Do you have any protection against psi harm, or is it all external harm?
My armor, basically.
Right, I don't know if brainers have anything. I don't think you do.
I have impossible reflexes.
Right.
But that's doing combat?
No. Well, that's more. So the way you move Unencumbered counts as armor if you're naked or nearly naked. 2 armor if you're wearing non-armor fashion. 1.
It's armor.
Right. So it's the fact that you're able to wear your dress. Yeah, maybe that's something we can look forward to in a future thing. Yeah, I think you're pushing past, and it's just you see exactly the best case scenario of what you would want past there. So it is going to be 2 psi harm that you take. So we're going to have you suffer the harm roll. So it's going to be roll plus 2. And yeah.
Okay. I think that's correct.
Yep. On a
I added
7.
the 2 to the modifier.
Right. So, on a 7 to 9, lose track of something. Something is noticing something important. Yeah, no, I think it's just you are so focused on getting to that possibility that you miss noticing something important. Go ahead and I don't know what you would like to call this dream. Peaceful life or a place for us or something like that.
I'll call it the calm.
Right. Calm. So yeah, this is going to basically be kind of a you feel like you have a focus now, a direction. And yeah, you're going to take a +1 forward as moving towards that path. Shazza is
roll?
to any role that you do to pursue this path. The calm, a place that is free for you and Shazza to be safe from the influence of others. Yeah, a place to call your own. Anytime you're pursuing that, and you can tell me when you feel like it is you pursuing that goal, you will take a +1 forward towards acting towards it. And I mean, the key is sitting before you. Shazza, he is going to be the foundation of how you get to that place you want. You can't do this on your own. The castle is going to bring nothing but darkness and make you do things that you don't want to do.
Okay. So I guess we'll have to get away from the castle then.
So as you kind of come free from the vision, Shazza is sitting there and he's smiling a bit wider now. Yes, yeah, you're ready now, aren't you?
She will ask him mentally. No, actually, never mind. She just gives him a small smile and a nod.
Good. Good. I have things to prepare. What did you see?
Okay. So mentally, she will say, I saw a life for us both away from here.
Yes. Yes. Safe from all of the darkness. That that that's what I've seen too. Uh yeah, we can be free of this place. I can be free of my parents. You won't have to worry about being the tool to be used by others or have the obligations of doing things you don't want to. Uh,
Uh, what what was in this meat?
yeah, he gives you kind of an uneasy, kind of creepy grin. Me.
uh, Let me see. Can I?
Read a person?
I guess it
Yeah,
was only a matter of time
I'm
before
going
human flesh was consumed here.
to search for that darkness again.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and roll that sharp. All right. So I'm guessing that is like is your yeah, what question on there? You're trying to see if he's dark. I will say, I mean, just reading him, you do not see the darkness in him. Like, this is Shazza. He's a bit strange at the moment, and you don't see any parts of his body missing, but he definitely straight up told you he was in the meat.
Um. Okay, so I guess. Um. I think maybe what is your is the character telling the truth? But I mean, it kind of depends on the context. Like, I don't think he actually put a bit of himself on the meat.
Right. Yeah. I think the way he's referencing this meat is very similar to how priests reference the body of Christ in the church wafers.
Oh. Okay, that's still weird.
Right?
Uh. Okay, I guess that will have to do for now.
He kind of reaches over to grab the tray. I probably should get back before my dad comes. No, I'm happy. I'm happy, Dusk. This will be good. We'll get out of here before whatever the darkness is. We'll be free of it.
Yeah, she just nods at him.
I think he approaches to give her a hug as he's leaving.
Let me see if I can take advantage of this.
Right.
Mm. Actually, I could have used the casual brain receptivity.
Right.
But I forgot about that. I don't think I have anything actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on if you're trying to implant puppet strings or something else.
No, I just
Shazza really need
I
more
wanted
puppet
to know.
strings.
I wanted to know where he got that meat,
Right.
but
Let's
I
see.
don't think I have anything to help with
What's
that.
your weird stat?
3.
Okay. Sure. I'll give you the success then. So that would have been yeah, you would have gotten 11 there. So ask your other 2 questions.
Okay. So what does he intend to do? No, I guess I know that.
Well,
Before that,
yeah.
before that, what is he? What is he really feeling? I guess I know that as well, but um, no. Actually, I'll ask. How could I get him to tell me where he got the meat?
Just ask. He's not ashamed of his meat.
Has Dusk ever like straightforward
Right?
asked anyone?
That's the most
something?
that's the
Probably
most
not.
difficult thing for her to do.
I just imagine like Dusk and like obedience training. Like, all right, ask him how his day went, and the guy ends up just like running outside and jumping through a window. Okay, progress. Like, that's so interesting when like basic things like that are hard.
Yeah. So I guess the last question, I'll be. What does your character wish I do?
I think he wants you to stay low, like stay safe. Don't go out. I think his biggest thing is having seen you so kind of distraught recently with the recent deaths. He wants you to just not bring that upon yourself anymore. You don't have any obligations here. Like, he'll continue to bring you food. But yeah. He wants you to just stay safe and get ready.
Okay. Okay, she'll obviously hug him. And okay. I guess
I think you have
they'll
one
go on their way.
more question.
No, the first one was is your
Is he telling
I
the
could remember.
truth? And then, well, right. I guess just ask him where he got the meat. Yeah, so you did all 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll probably ask him later.
Right.
I mean, she does trust him, and she doesn't see the darkness in him right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably not nothing bad.
Yeah.
Even if it felt weird, but yeah.
I think, in a way, Dusk is more comfortable with weird, and that might be a connection that you make. Is like, for the first time, you see Shazza as not. I don't think you ever saw him as weak. But seems a bit stronger now. Like, even though he was hurt pretty bad, there's something about him that maybe it's his confidence has gotten up a little bit. He's definitely not an equal. That's no way. But definitely, yeah, more confident than he has been.
Interesting. Okay. Never mind. Guess I'll after this. Dusk will. probably go take a look inside the storage, see the extent of the damage, and if it's too much, he'll probably search for another place to stay.
Right. Yeah, you kind of head down the tower. You have to really move the doors. Some of the hinges have just been off centered from the amount of heat. The stone is still fairly warm. Might even feel a bit unnatural for Dusk being so used to walking on cold.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of damage. The doors are all fairly badly damaged from the inside. Some of them completely burnt away. The rest kind of husks of the doors because those were the only wooden things here. There's definitely scorch marks and burn marks, and there's still a few torches on the ground. There's a few puddles from the water that they threw in here. Any leftover sacks or anything like that have been clearly burned, and there's definitely that smell of smoke, kind of just stale smoke in here. But the place really isn't that damaged. Like, they could easily replace the doors and it'd be just fine.
Well, I don't think they'll replace the doors unless the Emperor asks.
Right.
I mean, the night is just starting, so I guess she will go search for another place for now. If that fails, she'll just return to the storage.
Right. I mean, what Dusk's been traveling around the castles, so there's probably been nights when they have a large shipment. What is your secondary location, your little hideaway?
Let me see. So probably what is this place here?
Let me hop over there. Show me again. Oh, that?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, it is probably it looks like a little entrance to what may have been like an archer's tower or something like that. So it's probably a smaller tower, not as big as these round ones. And to be honest, I think part of that, the lower, I know exactly what that is. The lower portion of it, so there's a door that goes in, but then there's a ladder that kind of goes on top. And the door that goes in is currently being used as storage for Lark and company. But you know that there's a compartment upstairs that is open. That would have just been, again, it's like an archer's place.
It's completely like covered upstairs.
Right, yeah. So there's a ladder to go upstairs. There's another door that goes in. And then there's a little balcony out front that looks off to the north. But yeah, you know that it's just not used. No one goes up here. Maybe they might patrol past, but it's on the northern gate. So most people stay over by the gate itself. There's not a lot of people that head over here. You just know that you have Lark's folks down below.
Okay, but no one usually goes upstairs.
No, there's nothing in there. No one has any reason to go up there.
I guess in that case it's a good place as any.
Right.
So yeah, she would probably use it as a secondary hideout.
As you begin to kind of rest for the night, there's the little, arrow slit windows that kind of face into the courtyard, and you're able to overhear the conversations going on in the church. There's familiar voices, Rourke and other followers just talking about the day's events. Again, a lot of the gossip of what's going on. Why is the Legion preparing? But then you hear a familiar voice that you may not have been expecting. You hear the voice of Shazza's mother, and she's asking for prayer and for guidance for her son. He's dealing with a difficult situation. He's, hanging out with the wrong people. She's not being very blunt about it, but it's like she just caught Shazza smoking weed for the first time, and she's really concerned about it, but she doesn't want to tell the other PTO moms, So trying to get advice about how to deal with a difficult teenager without telling the full story. And eventually you hear, maybe you haven't heard her before, but an older voice speaks up, the voice of Pepper, and she kind of brings the woman aside. She kind of gets a bit blunt, like, what exactly is going on? Preen, Shazza's mother, talks about this girl. This girl hurt her son. She caused him great harm. She's caused him to become strange. Preen says, "Did you do anything to protect your child?" Or Pepper says, "Would you do anything to protect your child?" Preen, of course, says, "Yes. Anything." The older woman, "There's not much you need to do. Just pray. Pray with me. You will find a strength form from the bond that the entity will bless you with. A strength for you to do anything you need to do to protect your son." The voices kind of fade as they begin to pray.
Can I open my mind to the maelstrom?
Absolutely.
And try to detect some foul play on the entity's part?
Sure, absolutely. Oh boy. Yeah, Dusk, you find yourself watching a show. It's not really a show, as it were, but you see a group of people attached to strings standing up on a fake wooden stage. There's, the tufts of red carpet off to either side. Everyone looks to be wooden. And there's these dark hands holding these puppet strings above. And in walks Preen, bouncing along like a little wooden puppet. And you see a faceless person, just a generic follower. You can recognize them because they're wearing, the typical winter wear that they have, the bright colored coats. Like they just went to a box store and took all of the winter things they have. You can tell it's one of these followers of the church. Mm-hmm. They walk over and, well, they hand the puppet a gun. That person fades away, and we can see that there's a figure sitting back against us. Looks kind of similar to Dusk. White dress, dark hair, facing away. Preen is moved by these dark hands up above. Behind this figure, pulls the trigger, and you see the screen go black.
Where was she aiming the gun?
At the back of that figure's head.
The one dressed like Dusk?
Correct.
Okay. So I guess that's a threat. That's a declaration.
Right. And that's not surprising. The entity's been fucking with you for the past couple days. Like,
Yeah.
of course he's gonna keep doing stuff.
I can't really wait for Lark to arrive now. We're going to have a really long chat about your friend entity. Or our friend entity.
For Dusk, it's more acquaintance. Friend might be a strong word.
Yeah, it's a classmate. So from that point, Dusk, yeah, do you just kind of stay and listen for a bit longer? Do you try to sleep a little bit?
Do I have like somewhere that I could like comfortably sleep in, or is
Yeah,
it
I
just
think
like
you've probably put, spare supplies up here. I mean, Dusk, were you the one that stole the potatoes? Is there a bunch of potatoes up here?
Could be like a few.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you probably got a spare sleeping bag. Kind of maybe looks like something that the followers may have had. And you got some spare potato sacks. It's your backup. Like, yeah, you had to have it just in case. And you have the basic comfort items that you require, which is not much, just something more than the hard floor to sleep on. Your knife by your side. And quiet.
Yeah.
So a little while passes and we find Lark being awoken by Fauna. Just a gentle push on the shoulder. You can see that she's holding onto the reins, but her hands are getting very stiff. She tries to wake you up. I'm sorry to wake you. I'm afraid my hands are not able to hold on for much longer. Would you be able to just take over for a little bit?
Yes, it's no worry. Don't trouble yourself about it.
We're almost out of the valley. Just follow the path. We'll be getting to that point with the cave. Probably not too far. Remember, it gets really, really tight there. So take it a bit slower. You remember that little path that we had to move the cart around, right?
Yes, I should manage just fine. Lark grabs the reins, makes a point to like put his hand on Fauna's and just be like, "Thank you very much."
She smiles and steps over the bench to kind of come and just start stretching out her hands. That she might have a bit of arthritis, and definitely the cold's not helping. And you hear a lot of creaks and pops coming from her knuckles as she does. And yeah, you begin to move again. The oxen are traveling pretty fast. Like you can just feel the heat emanating from them, having gone for so long. But Old Man Peter said, "Go straight through, and go straight through. You will do."
Mm-hmm. Would I be able to search to see if Lark wants to know if those twins are still following them?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. see how that goes. Okay, a branch hits me in the face, I'm guessing.
You begin to hear the sound beneath the wheels change from like the solid dirt to the cracking and creaking of ice, and at first you're comfortable with that, but then there's a very loud crash as you look over, and it looks like a very large boulder have just been pushed off the side of a cliff, crashing into the river, and everything beneath you, the ground just starts to crumble beneath you. I'm gonna have you deal with bad terrain. Go ahead and roll plus cool plus the vehicle's handling, which is not great, so it's gonna be just plus cool.
I would not imagine it to be particularly good. Partial.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you get to choose one. You either slow down and pick your way forward, you push too hard and your vehicle suffers harm as established, you ditch out and go back to try to find another way.
I think Lark is going to slow down for this.
Right. So you feel it start to crack, and you're able to turn the oxen enough to try to drive them back to where the land is, back on the trail, just as the river almost cracks in half, causing a good 6 to 8 foot gap of just broken ice. The ice is pretty thick, probably a good 6 to 7 inches thick, but just the force of this boulder falling down into it has just caused it to become unsteady. As you turn around, like, everyone wakes up immediately. Old Peter kind of grabs onto the side as you're moving it around. Abraham immediately pops up and is trying to like stand his hand on the gun, just looking for anything. Looks the same up there with his bow, trying to find anything. You come to a heavy stop with the groaning of the ice. Old Man Peter's just... What happened? What did that...
A rock fell. Smashed through the ice. I did the best I could, but...
No, you did good. No, we didn't fall in. That would have been... bad.
Rocks fall around here often.
Takes a look at the cliffs. Could be avalanches anywhere. Be on the lookout.
This wasn't an avalanche. This was much more focused.
Kind of looks around.
This was... Lark obviously has like no solid evidence to support this, but he anyway says, I think your suspicions may have been correct about those twins.
Shit. All right. Look, go see if you can find us any way across. This is not a good place to be. There's too many places. Look, hops out and begins to move safely to the edge of the river. Kind
of. Lark looks at Abraham and just says, "Follow him. It's just however you may. We don't want anyone going out alone and getting, You're kind of suggesting that, like, we don't want someone to go out alone and then just get picked off."
Right.
Lark will draw his own handgun.
Look, kind of heads off to the edge. Abraham goes, pulls his gun, just kind of scanning the hilltop, looking through the valley, just watching for anything. You see Look kind of go a bit further downstream and start to just kick at the edge of the ice just to check how sturdy it is. Kind of looks, and you can see that a bit of it, like the entire river didn't break here. It just broke a good section of it, and there's some of it starting to pile up, almost like a dam, up against the edge of where it hasn't broken yet.
Lark will look to Peter and just ask, about how far are we?
At this point, if we can get through the pass, I mean, we're only a few hours away from the castle. We can probably get there before sunrise if we can get past here.
Lark is, I just failed a roll, read a sitch. So I think Lark is going to ask for the entity's insight.
Right. Very nice.
Very nice. All right.
So +1 forward times 2. And give -1 towards any action made against you. So you are asking for the entity's guidance around here.
Yes, in the fastest way to get the caravan to the castle.
Right.
Or the wagon, or whatever word you would prefer to use.
The entity is very blunt with this. You gotta drop some dead weight. If you want to get back, not everybody can come with you.
That's less than ideal.
It is. The entity would probably give you you, Abraham, Z are all potential either followers or potential followers. Everyone else has had the chance. You have prayed before them. They've had the chance to show interest in his good graces, and they turned their back against him. So you know what? They can be left behind.
Now, if they are left behind, are they like absolutely screwed and have no chance, or will they just have to find a way around?
That's
okay.
It's hard to tell. You're in control. Luke's already out of the wagon.
All right. Lark is going to look to Old Man Peter and just listen. This is less than ideal, so I'm going to be straight with you. I think Abraham and I and Z, if he wishes, should go on ahead and find our way through. This information needs to get to the Emperor as quickly as possible.
Wait. No, you're not taking my caravan. That is absolutely not happening. I can bring this information to the Emperor just as you can. What do you mean we need to leave anyone behind? If we get going now, we just need to go. Look has found a spot for us to go. Just go, man.
Lark doesn't like that necessarily, and he would like to follow the entity's suggestion. But at the same time, Peter has done everything Peter has said he would do, and though he didn't, Lark will give him the benefit of the doubt and say the start with the entity. Actually, Old Man Peter did say he might be willing to listen, but currently he is a man on the job right now.
Right.
So Lark will give him the benefit of the doubt on that and say, all right, I'm sorry for even making such a suggestion. I wouldn't even think of it if the situation wasn't so dire.
No, I understand.
If it makes you feel any better, I would have offered you my weapon.
I appreciate that. I would have taken mine, referencing the shotgun underneath your butt at the moment.
We should hurry. If it was our enemies attempting to halt us on our way back to the castle, then there's no telling what else they may try.
Yeah, he goes to try to take the reins, like, if you want us out of here, I'll be the one to do it.
We should be off then. And Lark looks at Abraham. Hurry back.
He kind of holsters his gun, turns around, calls out to Look. They both begin to run back, kind of just latch onto the side of it as it starts moving and crawl into the back. Old Man Peter turns the oxen around and they start to move towards the river. You get to to the point it starts to creak, and everyone clenches a little bit, crossing through. Crick, snap. Moving a bit further. Creak, pop. Can hear the hooves land on solid ground on the other side. Pop.
Lark lets out a huge sigh of relief.
Thunk. You hear this whistling through the air. Turn to see an arrow lodge through Look's throat, bleeding, gasping for air.
Damn.
Fauna drops down. Old Man Peter just whips the oxen to just lurch it forward, cursing under his breath.
So Lark is going to immediately grab Look and pull him like down into the cart, and I'm going to attempt my you said there was a map? I am not on a map currently. I'm on the world map.
I haven't made one quite yet. This is
Okay,
still
it's
theater of
just
the mind. Yeah. So right now
Gotcha,
you're past a little bit of a river. You got hills and cliffs kind of to both sides.
I see ya.
Right. And yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I thought misunderstood what you meant.
No, I was going to, but then I figure you're going to be moving, so it's kind of hard to create a map big enough to cover.
Gotcha. So Lark is going to go for healing touch on Look.
Yeah, I mean, the arrow's in his throat. Are you pulling it out, like grabbing it from the back and pulling it through his throat first, or does healing?
Yeah, that's I think the only thing Lark can do, because he has to get it out before he closes the wound.
Oh yeah.
All right, so oh god damn it.
First, you don't heal them. Okay. Second, you've opened both your brain and theirs to the world's psychic maelstrom without protection or preparation.
I think this is the first time I failed this, and my god, there was some horrifying results.
Patient, if your patient's treated as though they made a miserable NPC.
Didn't you fail the healing touch on yourself?
No, what I failed was when I get a partial, I have to make an additional cool roll.
Yeah, to act under fire of their brain. Okay.
All right, so I got snake eyes on this one, so
yeah. Now that's the twice tonight that you've gotten the old snake eyes. That's definitely not good.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of good luck to start this. I think like Lark's just having like a hard time. Like this is a much higher pressure situation than he's been in previously when he's used this ability.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is definitely a surprise. You're opening both your minds. That's the interesting part here. So it's not really that his mind is being opened or not opened. It's a matter of just pulling the arrow through and placing your hand over the wound before attempting to heal it. That was enough for the old guy. And you find yourself experiencing death. You
Oh my god.
see,
am I getting his senses as
Yep.
this is happening?
You are
Oh, God.
sensing what it feels like to die. It is first an immense amount of fear. You don't feel like you're drowning, which is comfortable. You feel like you are on absolute fire, which is abnormal. You're used to feeling cold. You feel like you are being burned at the stake to begin with. You are also not seeing any darkness anywhere. It is pure light surrounding you, as if there are a million spotlights focused, burning at your flesh. you start to see all of Look's past. You can see moments of him traveling with the caravan. You see the family that he left behind. You see the good man that he was, the dedicated worker. And then you see emptiness. You've never experienced emptiness before. There's always been something there. There's not sound. It's not that there's not light, it's that it's just not light, and it's not darkness. It is just empty. And I think, that's your situation now. Like you're just kind of stuck here. Like you're floating in this void. Look died. He's not here anymore. All of you went through the elements of his death, but now that the death is final, you are stuck in this empty space, floating.
Yeah, Lark, kind of taking some heavy breaths because he's experienced some shit again, and he's just like, what is this? Where am I? How do I? What? He just deteriorates into incoherent mumbling, looking around for something, anything in this void, and eventually he just calls out, "Hello?
Hello?
Is anyone
hello,
here?
Hello? 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 Is anyone here? Here? Just echoes. You are all alone for the first time, Lark. Alone. No one to follow you. No entity to guide you.
And Lark's trying to compose himself, and he just looks out into the void. Look, I'm sorry. I couldn't save you. I'll make sure that they pay for what they did. Vengeance will be had. And Lark, not sure if he's actually talking to anyone anymore, saying that to kind of gain some degree of comfort in this very uncomfortable situation.
Right. Release
And,
that burden.
Lark reaches into his jacket and pulls it, or vestments, and pulls out the skull.
Right. Trying to balance yourself. Yeah, I'm going to say act under fire to break free from this void.
All right. Okay.
As you stare, you feel like you force yourself to focus on your own memories, that what you just witnessed, that was not you. Like that was an experience of someone else. And you begin to feel the comfort of your followers when you start to hear Abraham's voice, feeling someone shaking you. Lark, get up and get down. He pulls you off of Look to pull you down. You have a moment to look. The cart is moving at a high rate of speed, but you can now see Z has an arrow through his shoulder. He's holding it just down. Fauna is in the fetal position. Old Man Peters pulled the shotgun out and just has it on his lap, ready to see anything, but it looks like the arrow came from behind Z, who was sitting in the back of the cart, and has pierced through his shoulder.
All right. You know what? Screw it. Lark has not learned his lesson. He's going to try to get the arrow out and use healing touch.
As you come through, like, Z pushes, like, he just saw what you did to Look. He's not interested in that. We'll get home. If you want to convince him to allow you to work on his shoulder, we could definitely do that.
You know, since he's resisting, Lark is not going to spend time doing this. He's going to draw his pistol and keep a lookout.
Right.
Because it's the best he can do. It's obviously, it's the shoulder. It's not life-threatening.
Right.
All right, so Lark is he's going to look to Abraham. Did you see anything?
Nothing. Twice. Two more arrows. What just happened with you? You touched that guy and then you passed out.
I tried the healing, but it didn't work.
No, we just need to get out. If they're out there, I don't see them. They are fucking ghosts, man.
You know, I know someone else they said was a ghost, but turns out flesh all the same. Lark is saying this as he's like frantically like looking around. He's a little bit freaked out. He's just trying to like act cool.
Right.
And I think he's just going to remain like that, like vigilant, weapon at the ready. Actually, he's going to pick up Look's bow.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's probably going to have a bit more range on it. What the effective range of the handgun would be.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely has the far range. Yeah, it's a nice bow too. Like, he took care of it. You kind of grab it and watch. You almost feel like the cart is floating. The oxen are moving so fast. You get to that tight pinch where that cave is, and Old Man Peter almost has to move the cart up onto the wall of this cliff to get up and around, and just providing a bit of a barrier between where the river was, where those hills were, where the arrows were coming from. Gives you a bit, just a tiny bit of at ease, but you're still vigilant. A couple minutes pass and you start to hear Z cough.
Z, are you all right?
He's pulled his shirt down and there is a spiderweb of dark veins spreading from his wound.
Damn. Now Lark is going to try to use the healing hands on him. He's going to try to pull the arrow out and heal him again.
Absolutely.
Because now it doesn't look like he has time to wait.
Yeah.
He just kind of pulls the arrow out and like pushes Z down and just looks at him and says, I don't know if this will work, but it's the only chance you have. Stay with me, Z.
Looks, his eyes kind of faded. You just see it spreading like a hand reaching towards his heart. You pull the arrow out. I'm going to actually have you act under fire as you pull the arrow out.
I've made a lot of rolls.
You notice you go to grab it and you hesitate for a moment. The arrowhead is coated with something. Grabbing it with your bare hands, pulling it free. You got lucky with Look, but this one, it's not as far through. You have to look for something to not directly touch that head.
Lark curses under his breath and tears off a piece of his vestments.
Right.
So he doesn't have anything else.
Wrap it around your hand just as these eyes begin to fade, close.
And Lark's like, stay with me.
You
Pray, Z. Pray.
pull the arrow out. You place your hand. Roll that weird.
Oh, this is stressful. Okay. I'm gonna have to roll cool again.
And we keep rolling. Just keep rolling. All right. Open your mind. Or act under fire from your patient's brain. Ooh, boy. Okay. Well, you just witnessed death. Now
He does heal for 1 off of.
he does. Yeah, that's gonna definitely at least stop the poison. Ooh, boy. You oh, this is a loopy world that he's in right now. He's poisoned. He's gone a bit loopy in the mind. You're playing a game of pool with Z, but all of the balls are just Old Man Peter's head. Just his head. And
oh God.
Z is just hitting, like, he's sending balls off the table, man. Just hitting them hard, and they're bouncing and clanking across the floor, bouncing around. You have you have the cue in your hand. Do you play pool with Z?
I'm wondering if Lark knows what this game is.
Right. No, it's a strange thing. There's this big table of felt.
He's probably seen the tables before, but
Right.
he's never actually seen anyone play.
Yeah, and all of
assumes it
the
was-
Peter balls are screaming every time they're hit. Like they're getting hurt. These balls have feelings.
Oh. So there are obviously like the holes at the edge of the table, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Lark is going to like just kind of like use his hand to like just shove some of the balls in the hole and looking at Z, just saying, "This is a strange game, but this is not a game, Z. This is life or death. There are winners and losers, but
Put Peter in his place. 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 Put Peter in his place."
Okay. Should I roll read a person?
Sure. Read a
Oh my
person
God.
on Crazy Z right now.
I have so many like nested rolls going on right now. Okay, what does he really feel like? What's going on here?
Z obviously has like a very hidden hatred towards Old Man Peter. And yeah, while he would never do anything in real life, he would be okay if Peter was harmed in some way. Like you're seeing a very loopy version of his darkest dream, as it were. Like to just get rid of Peter and allow him to still have the success that Peter has. He wants to take over what Peter does. He wants to be the leader of the caravan.
Gotcha. And
Which
from
you
what I've
actually
seen,
picked
he's
up
probably-
from his conversation with you at the fireplace. Now that you kind of put that together, when you had that campfire and he
right.
kind of talked about what he wanted. Yeah, it makes sense. Like he wants to take over Peter's spot.
Yep. Yep. This. All right. Yeah, Lark's going to continue. Like now, knowing this, he's going to continue to just push the heads into the holes with his hand rather than actually play the game properly.
Right.
And the last head, though, he's going to like just take and hold, and then he's just going to like chuck it behind him.
It just screams, hits with that clink against the ball, falls down. Z just chucks Peter in his place. Peter's in his place.
Lark is going to put his hand on Z's shoulder. It's so much harder to put someone in their place playing by their rules. Sometimes it's better to make your own.
His head kind of tilts over.
Playing this game, doing it one at a time, it's so tedious. It'll take so long. There are other ways, as I showed you.
He
Sometimes simpler.
hits the edge of the pool table, and the pool table begins to morph. No longer are there just holes on the corner. No, the whole table is just turning into one big dark void. Seems to have a bit of darkness, almost like water you would enter if you were to exit from your normal open the brain.
All right. Lark's looking at this, realizing he's trying to make sense of a very nonsensical situation here. But he's going to keep trying because that's what he does.
Right.
Lark just says, "But Z, you must realize." And Lark is going to like kind of walk around Z, so Z is placed between Lark and this big hole. You need to be careful when and where you step, because otherwise you just might be a victim of the same game. And Lark pushes him in the hole.
Yeah, you just see him laugh, fall in, splash a bit like a child would, and then just be sunk beneath, disappearing. You hear, like, outside, it's like as soon as he's gone, you feel your connection begin to slip from this place, and you hear a gasp coming that just echoes throughout the room, like someone catching their breath.
Okay. Lark has passed out for the second time during this trip.
Right. Again, Abraham's just grabbing you, shaking you awake. Are you okay?
And Lark just kind of like trying to get his bearings. Honestly, ever since we left the castle, my definition of okay has been a bit shaky, but sure.
We need to get home. Peter, how much longer? At this rate, we'll be there in a matter of hours. How's...
Lark's immediately just like, Z, did it work with him?
You see the dark marks from his shoulder have moved. The wound hasn't healed. It's kind of scabbed over and stopped bleeding. So the poison's been stopped, but not fully healed.
Okay, so he'll still need some medical attention, but he's been stabilized for now. Lark just kind of like puts his head back. Oh, thank God. Thank the entity. Thank the entity that worked.
Fauna's still just shaking.
Seeing Fauna, like, she's not doing anything besides like cowering.
Right. I mean, there's still the body of Look in the back here, and I think that's freaking her out quite a bit.
All right, yeah. Lark respected Look, if nothing else, so he's not gonna just chuck him over. He's gonna like take his pistol, turn it with the grip facing Fauna, and just be like, Fauna, listen to me now. They will not turn you into a victim too. You are stronger than that. And I'm going to try to manipulate her.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because right now, I mean, in a way, it kind of looks like you've finished Look. So I think she's just confused. Yeah, let's give her a talking to.
Yes.
There we go.
I want her to like take up arms, and I don't want cowering about this. I want her to feel empowered. I want her to feel like an urge to avenge her fallen comrade. Like Lark is like looking at her like, be a warrior here. Look is gone, but you are still here.
Yeah, her hand shaking, reaches out and grabs the gun. Taking a
Lark,
breath,
do you know how to use it?
she nods. Pulls herself up, places her other hand on the gun and just rests it on the side of the wagon, just begins to look out as well, taking deep breaths, trying to calm herself.
Yeah, seeing that now she will like defend herself, Lark just like puts his head back. Well, one of them will make it back, I suppose. And Lark just feels exhausted. Like mostly mentally at this point, but he is so drained.
Hey, Lark, there's something on this one. You see Abraham's looking towards the back of the wagon, and he pulls one of the arrows out, and there's looks like a bit of parchment stuck to it. There's fuckers left us a note.
I offered them a chance to be peaceful about this, and they could have simply let us return, but no. They had to resort to this. And Lark reaches his hand out. Give it to me.
He hands it. Throws the arrow just over the side, making sure to keep the poisoned end away from everyone.
So what does this note say?
The valley is ours, full of light. Darkness has no place.
Fools. Don't they realize that without darkness, light would have no meaning? And he just crumples the parchment up, but he's about to throw it over the side, but then now this is evidence that they were like bastards to us, so he's gonna just hold on to it, rest his head back, and just like not necessarily sleep because he's at this point way too like wired, but he's exhausted.
Right.
Keep a lookout, Abraham. I don't know how much I have left. If anyone takes another one of those.
Of course, I'll stay awake till we get there. You rest. I think you need it.
Lark just like smirks a little bit, like hell yeah, I do.
Yeah, he just saw you pass out twice, so he's like, I don't want to tell the cult that you went crazy on my watch. So please just get better, so I don't have to explain this to them. So the cart continues to fly along the path. Dusk, was there anything else you were planning to do over the night? If not, probably transition a bit.
If she's sleeping, because I think she didn't really get to sleep
Right.
during the day, she would probably sleep at least a few hours.
Right. So the night begins to pass at a steady rate. The stars begin to fly across the sky as we kind of speed up time. A wind begins to howl in the backgrounds, whipping through the further valleys, spinning dust storms far away. A horn blows out from the northern gate as people are spotted approaching. The caravan is returning. And as we begin the very early morning hours on the next day, the castle is quiet. The men of Portum gone. The Legion all looking like each other, shaved heads and beards, wearing the same uniform, preparing to open the northern gate. The weary and tired, and some dead travelers of the caravan begin to approach, oxen completely worn, tired. Chris sleeping, but not deeply. We will end the session to come back on the next day as Lark returns to the castle and Princey perhaps prepares to join Chris at the fort.
All right.
So,
Awesome as always.
as
Absolutely.
as everyone,
I was not expecting to be attacked on the way back.
the river didn't take you, so they had to find other methods.
Yeah, Lark is 100% probably going to take that bow and intend to use it to kill the twins.
Yeah, no, that's vengeance, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that was. He actually like kind of used Look as like a complete like he was like innocent in all this, and he's the one that died because they couldn't leave well enough alone.
Yeah. Let's see. So for that bow, let's see. What do I have here? So it's 2 harm, far. I don't think there's any other tags for it. Yeah.
All right.
I'll say silent too. Yeah, why not? Let's add a silent tag because it is definitely
Absolutely.
quiet. Since everyone's kind of on their own, do we feel like do you want to mark hex for everyone, or do we want to say maybe?
I mean, we could obviously, we wouldn't count with Sam.
Right.
Then again, you probably wouldn't because she went on her way.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine for not marking H now because, like, really, it's been so long since the characters have interacted with. Like it's been so long since Lark interacted with Dusk. So neither of us know at all what Sam is doing.
Right. Chris has not met
I'm kind of
anyone.
good just not mark. Yeah. It's not like we're hard up for improvements at this point, so.
Yeah, I just leveled up again.
Awesome.
Yeah, Lark got 1, and I'm thinking I might. No, I might end up just taking a +1 hard because that's going to come up in the future.
Yeah.
Because I think like the fact that he got attacked and someone innocent got killed upset him greatly.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Maybe Dusk will change your minds on the entity.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Dusk has people that she would also like vengeance on, and she has carried out vengeance on multiple occasions. So,
right.
Maybe she'll finally see the I'd say the light, but that's obviously not the case.
I mean, you do know the entity is the reason of most of her vengeance.
Yeah, but I mean, she is it's the self-fulfilling prophecy thing. I mean, Lark just needs to make you like look and see that you've been doing it all. Might as well do it in a group.
I mean, we'll see who can talk no jutsu to the other.
Yeah, and Chris finally got another improvement, and definitely, like I said, I'm gonna unlock the stasis facility and open up the ability to let others out.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting.
So, yep. So that would be release. You can release everyone from stasis all at once or one by one. And I'm not sure I'll use that immediately, but depending on how the Princey thing goes, he might need some backup.
Right.
The armory might be the next thing.
That could probably be useful too. It's hard to tell. Like there's definitely obviously guns in the world, but there's not many. Ammo is kind of short supply.
Yeah.
Because there's no one able to make.
Oh, you know what? One of the things was archives, which we've kind of done already for like lore reasons.
Right.
Um,
But you're reading kind of the base level stuff, so maybe there's more hidden goodies locked away. That
yeah,
you
I'm
don't
trying
know
to read
about.
what it does mechanically. Because it said stasis includes an investigative workspace in the form of its records and historical archives. Access them, and you can get to the bottom of the past, like a savvy head getting to the bottom of some
tech
shit.
shit. So
I
that's
don't know what that
read.
like really does mechanically wise.
Yeah, that's a thing. Where's my savvy head here? 196. That's a savvy head move.
Yeah, it looks like some modification on that.
So that's a
Like,
things. Is it a things speak? Let's see. Reality's frame.
Could be. I just noticed that, and like the archives that Chris has are obviously like more for lore and everything.
Right.
Not necessarily giving me a mechanical advantage in the game, so
for things speak, I'm not sure if that works very well. So who handled this last before me? Who made this? What strong emotions have been most recently nearby this? What words have been said? I don't think that would be it. That's advice. Spooky intent.
All right. I was wondering if we had accidentally created a weird situation where I sort of had two things unlocked already when I shouldn't, but it doesn't look like that's what's going on.
It doesn't. I'll have to do some more research on what exactly that is.
Yeah, it's
meaning.
I'm not super familiar with the Savvy Head playbook, so
yeah, I'll look into that. I mean, obviously that's a future thing, so we don't have to worry
the archives
about that right now.
are like I think I only get two more things from the stasis facilities, and the archives is definitely not high on the list.
Right.
I think like the armory might be the next one, and then I don't know, med lab probably, because Chris isn't some creepy shadow man start touching him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's not going to be some good. Luckily, it seems the entity is not quite able to reach here yet.
Nope. But boy, we're gonna have to. Chris is probably wondering what Princey has meant about the mother as well. That's another thing he's worried about.
Maybe you didn't pick it up. I'm wondering if Chris may have mothers coming from all the packets that they have in there referencing Mother Nature. So when he says that, like, that's what he's referencing. Is that for him, what's happened to him was from Mother Nature, this beautiful woman that's shown in all these packets being bringing the trees and the green and the flowers and all of the beautiful things that...
Okay. I was thinking that because like he referenced the mother when like the maggots showed up and took the bears out.
Right.
So that was more me as the player wondering about that.
Yeah, Princey thinks that the maggots were Mother Nature saying the bears are bad and maggots are going to kill the bears.
Okay, and they're obviously like they're unnatural creatures.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the spiders were really weird. So that might be like something that would be very interesting for Chris to like kind of like get a hold on, because it's that goop affecting the environment instead of individuals now.
Or is Princey just bringing a whole bunch of things that have nothing to do with each other together because he thinks they do?
Well, regardless, there's a bunch of bugs in this snowy mountainous area, which Chris is going to be like, that's not normal.
No, that's not good. We don't need no spiders
Even
around
Lark
here.
was confused by that. When they encountered the spiders, even Lark was like, okay, this is strange.
I mean, Lark may or may not still have a spider on him that he forgot about. So.
Oh, Lark probably did. I don't think. I certainly haven't. I've been waiting for.
Yeah, that's
He had
solid.
several actually show up. I just remember that like really weird scene where it's like Sam and Lark both see the spiders landing on each other, say nothing, and just start nodding at each other like, "Oh, you're gonna get yours."
It's all fine here.
Yeah, not realizing they're both screwed.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Oh boy, many fun things to come. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. Thank you for everybody out there that might be watching. Of course, thank you too for coming to play. Hopefully, we'll have Sam back next week.